Good morning. How y'all feeling out there? I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host Takia Ross, and you
Hey,
are
hey, hey.
watching the 30-Day Show, BGV Edition. Over the weekend. First of
Mm.
all, there's so much tea. Okay, so you got what's happening with the beauty girls with the Patrick Todd stealing the blush.
Uh,
The
uh,
girls, then Jackie
uh,
Aina somehow got in on it, and then it just was, I was like, oh, the
the
beauty world is
situation.
upside. Yeah, what in the world?
It's a situation. It's a situation. Well, when black women create culture. Black people in general, but black women in beauty, create are one of the most creative segments of beauty that there ever is and ever will be, specifically because most cosmetics are not created for black skin. And so we have to be creative in regard to how we utilize the products that are available to us. And so when you see, and from what I understand, I don't know a lot about Patrick Todd, I don't purchase his products. But this is not his first time at the rodeo when he's out here, you know what I mean, taking from black women or getting into a situation when it comes to black women. In this particular situation, just it highlights how the disparities, one, and then two, if we go back to it, Omi, it highlights some of the challenges that we face as Black business owners and creatives in being able to strategically galvanize or push forward our mission. Because most of the time we don't have the capital to be able to push, like push something
Mm-hmm.
forward, right? And so I'm sure Beauty by Esther had all kinds of ideas about how she could take this to the next level. However, if you don't have access to capital, proximity, and if you don't move with swiftness, capitalism will snatch you up and take your stuff. And we're seeing it now. I am grateful to see a lot of beauty creatives who are sticking by her. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
sir. Like,
Yeah,
no.
and this is what's interesting about I'm gonna say this loosely, but
Hmm.
in moments like this, it's like democracy is the only thing that can combat capitalism in this way, right?
Hmm.
And I think that is, and I say that, and I'm not meaning, what I mean by democracy is the people.
Hmm.
People are like, hold up, we know that is Esther's technique. So what we're talking about right now, y'all, is a black woman who she's an artist,
Yeah,
but
she's a makeup artist.
yeah, she's a makeup artist, and she created this type of doing blush called transition blush. This type
Hmm.
of blending or something with blush,
Hmm.
and then Patrick Ta, who's I don't know if he's a makeup artist, but he has a makeup line, it's a beauty line.
Hmm.
He then came out with her technique,
Hmm.
and and the idea is that he knew it was her technique, and then he attempted to trademark it as
Hmm.
well. And then what added fuel to the fire was Jackie Aina in the middle of all this comes out um doing a review of the product amid all this happening. And there's different things. We don't know if it was if she got paid as an influencer, like what I mean? Like we don't know what to do. I don't know. Let me say I don't know. Somebody out there know. I don't
Hmm.
know. My experience with Jackie Aina has been positive. She made a comment about something about being pro black ain't never made her no money or something like that. I don't know about that, and I don't want to get into what people do and reactions to other things. What I would
Hmm.
say is that we had a partnership at BGV with Jackie Aina. It was positive. It was through Crown Royal. She sold a certain kind of candle. We got the proceeds, and I met her, and she was seemingly lovely. And like she was cool, and she was like, "I believe in what you're doing. Whatever. Let's partner. Whatever." So I don't know nothing about whatever the girls is happening with the girls online. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
offline
Hmm.
and meeting her, she's a cool person. I just think that it's a lot when it comes to like all the reactions that happen with who's defending who wants to help, who wants to make the case that you can't be talking to who like that. You know what I mean? Who halfway knows information, who knows information. it's just so much. But I do love that, but we're gonna hold you accountable because we know this was this Black woman's, and we are here to hold her down and protect her. And then, the question is, from again capitalism standpoint, can they impose a can they impact Patrick Todd's business this way? Right. And I'm not saying that they, that's the whole goal, but I think like in the sense of like pulling the thread of democracy impacts capitalism and democratic thinking. And I don't want to use democratic because we're in election season, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean
Mm-hmm.
is like democracy in the sense of like the people giving into the power in the hands of the people,
Mm-hmm.
having the opportunity to impact these
Yes.
capitalistic moves. There's something to be said uh, about that. Even when they get it right and even when they get it wrong, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, I think, and it was an influencer, and I forget her name. I'm gonna try to search for her. She's been going live. She's a purse. Now she's not an influencer. She's a business owner, Black woman. She makes purses, and forgive me for not knowing her name. I am going to find it and share it. But she has been out here, and she's been asking Mackenzie Scott to give 1,000 Black
oh
women $1 million,
yeah,
right?
I saw
And
that.
yes, and so she gave some commentary around it as well, and I really do appreciate her perspective. And one of the perspectives she brought up is also collaboration within the Black beauty community, right? And so one of the things was we would have loved to see, Beauty by Esther maybe collaborate with another Black woman owned or Black owned beauty brand to who could move faster, right? Because a lot of it is these viral moments, these opportunities that come upon us. It's fleeting, right? Like you have to be
Mm,
able to like capture it really quickly and
mm,
move, right? And oftentimes that do and only it takes capital. You have to be prepared for whenever that viral moment comes because you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know what it's going to be about. And you have to be prepared to move. And most of the time we're not, right? Because we're out here creating, right? We're just out here
mm,
living our best life, just being dope and magical and all of those things. And her viral moment came, but she wasn't able to, for whatever reason, right? Or maybe it was in the works or whatever happened, but it didn't happen fast enough and somebody was able to come and sweep it up, and
mm,
so sometimes it's about how can we get past ourselves, right? Like I don't have to do this by myself. Who can I collaborate with quickly? Who does have what I need right now to be able to push this forward, right? And so it's like when she said, I was like, yeah, that would have been really dope if she was able to collaborate with the Lip Bar or Danessa Myricks or you know what I mean, some another a Black beauty brand where they could have collaborated on this viral moment. You know what I'm saying? And really drove it home. Run it up.
one of the things that I want to double tap on because we're gonna bring up our first guest who
Hmm.
also is in the beauty industry too, but in a
Yeah.
different way with braid
Hmm.
care.
Hmm.
One of the things that I think is interesting that I want to talk about is like resource and money,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Because to your point, some people might be asking, why didn't she trademark it herself? You know what I mean? It's like, well, she was probably just thinking, is it trademarkable?
Yes.
Like I don't know her, you know what I'm saying? But and I don't know what she was thinking. So let me not I'm not trying to like claim to what she was thinking, but it's like some of the stuff you be doing it and it take off, and then you think to yourself, dang, was that? Because somebody, okay. So even we did this weekend, we did pull up and bitch in Chicago. Somebody actually tried to steal our pull up and bitch concept. Well, they did. And then they started doing it themselves. And I wasn't thinking it was nothing to steal. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't thinking it was nothing to take. I was thinking, okay. And I
Hmm.
was like, wait a minute, this is the exact same thing. And I'm like, okay. First I thought we was cool. Because I think that's the other thing. It'd be like, I thought I don't know you deeply, but from beauty
Hmm.
professional to beauty professional, I thought you was cool. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I think like
Hmm.
that's the first thing that comes up. Like, well, I don't know you like that, but like I thought you was cool. I thought it was cool enough for you to know, like, don't
Hmm.
take my thing. You know what I mean? And then we got the trademark for the words pull up and pitch. So if you say pull up and pitch, all together in one word. I don't care if you just say it in a sentence. I'm coming for you. So it was like, oh, cease and desist. You know what I'm saying? If you could pull up and pitch, you just might be saying that casually in your description. Nah, bro. Like, we cut that. But I think that, but I learned that because we have lawyers with us. You see what I'm saying? Like, I learned that because of that. And we've had pro bono legal with us since 2020. And underneath that, if we need to do something that costs, then we do something that costs. So like, they'll review all of our contracts, but because I had them reviewing things for so long, I kind of just started to recognize the things they were saying over and over again about the contracts. And I started being like, oh, so now in every contract, we need to make sure we negotiate these things, because the lawyers kept saying it over and over and over. Then I'm like, plus, I mean, I used to work at the patent and trademark office, but still, resource and knowing like I have something I should trademark. There's so many people that be like, I'm gonna trademark the bot, and I'd be like, I don't know, do you need to do that? But I also want to say it doesn't cost a lot to trademark something, but a lot is relative. But I'm just saying, like, for the most part, it doesn't cost a lot. It's about $350 per class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So per class categories in it, that it falls in, it's about $350. You can do it yourself. I'm not saying that I highly recommend that, but you can go online. You can search. PTO is wide open for you. You can fill out the application. You can do all the things. Now, when it comes to, and I talked about this a little bit last time, because I also don't think people know how to work with lawyers. So you think lawyer, and you're like, oh my God, I need $1 million to find a lawyer. And it's like, okay, wait, back up. Not everything that you do with a lawyer is gonna take $20,000. It might not. However, your base, what you're gonna put down is at least $5K. So you're gonna base put down $5K, and then whatever that lawyer's hourly rate that they bill at, they're gonna work that $5K with their hourly rate depending on what you're asking them to accomplish. So it could be, and that is across the board. I don't care if you were trying to get custody for your kid. Like, same thing. Like, you gonna put that, you're gonna sign an agreement with the lawyer that you like, put that $5K down, whatever that lawyer bills at. And if they need a colleague, they got to rope in whatever they bill at. So that's the thing to be careful about. They're gonna bill through that $5K until they're down, until that $5K is gone. Now, you want to work with lawyers who you build a rapport with, you have an understanding of what their billing rate is, you have an understanding of what you need done, and you ask them up front about how many hours do you think this might take, right? Like, you want to ask these questions so you can understand how far your $5K can go and then how much money you might need. Now, if it's ongoing litigation, that's going to start eating away, and it's going to start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the hard part about some of these pieces with the trademarking, because once they do that, to fight it could take years. That's the thing. Like, if they get you caught up in litigation, now you just pouring out money. I think that, and that's where like the hard part comes in. So if you can get ahead of it, and there's some ways, some little things that you can do to get ahead of some of this is start to own it online. Because what happens in these patent and trademark searches is that the first thing they're going to do is search for whether or not this thing already exists. So they're going to go online, they're going to search for, I'm just using Transition Blush for example. Let's say Patrick Toss submits the trademark application for Transition Blush. The trademark person at the PTO, Patent and Trademark Office, it is their job to go and search to see if this is actually an available thing that Patrick Toss can have, right? And what that means, now I don't know, this is interesting because when I was at PTO, this was pre like influencer culture, internet, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know if they look at, I don't think at this moment, according to the way they evaluate, that the TikToks, like social media, is involved. I don't know that. That's a good question. I should ask her. I may ask somebody that. Does that count? I don't know that counts. But if you have a website that's built out around this theme, there's a chance, because websites mark a date. See, that's the kicker. Like, if you can mark the date, then you can say, oh no, I had this thing before this person.
I think it does because I did my own trademark. I did my own for Kiki Thunder, and I was able to utilize our social media posts in my application
Okay.
so that we had, because it does give date and time, right? So to let them know that I've been using it for a certain amount of time. So I do believe you can use that as a point of reference. You know what I mean? That this is but what happens is when they have that discovery, right? When they do the discovery and they go through, like, you have a certain amount of time um to come and say no, this person can't apply. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's mine. If you miss that, nobody contested. That's probably what happened. Like, nobody, he put it out there and nobody contested it, right? You didn't even know to look for it. And that's the thing, right? Like, if you don't know to look for it, if they still can prove certain things and nobody contested it, then it went through. If that's what happened, but I know that there is a certain amount of time that they give you, that somebody can come and contest. Like, they put it out and somebody can come and contest. But again, if you don't even know to be looking for it, and that's the thing on me, like, a lot of this is you don't even know that this is happening or that you should be looking into when they start publishing that a trademark is being applied, and what is being applied for. Like, you don't know until then you realize your stuff just got trademarked, not by you.
100%. So I think
Hmm.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. Because when we were trademarking BGV, even with Pull Up and Pitch, they wanted us to go back the farthest date
Hmm.
that we started using it, and we could submit like our event rights.
Hmm. Yep.
So
And
that's
it's
another thing. What we're talking about is like, so first they're gonna try to go through and search on their own. Then they're gonna come back and say, nah, somebody already had this. Or if they find that, then they're gonna say, but then you'll have a peer where you can submit proof that no, you had it before them, and then you'll be able to do that. And so, and to Takia's point, and then too, like, I don't even know how you find out that somebody else is in discovery around something you have. But if you're in the process, then you can submit things. I don't know how you find out that like that other person is actually in the process.
USPTO does it. When you put it in, if you put it in,
Okay.
they do it. And they can check for on your own self. And then too, I do want to push people to, just like BGV is amazing and provides. Like, a lot of times we think about capital as the only resource, and it's not, right?
All
And
the
so what it's
time,
not.
child.
And so, like, and one of the things that I love about BGV is the supporting resources, right? And so make sure that you are not only going after like capital. Yes, you need money, but you also need a lawyer. You also need an accountant. You also need, so think about all of the other things that the money will purchase, right? Money is the tool to pay for whatever it is that you need. And so if you say, I need an accountant, I need a lawyer, you may be able to take advantage of some pro bono services that are offered through your SBA, your SBDC. Other organizations do provide. I know we have volunteer lawyers for the arts here in Baltimore, and they actually do have workshops and provide volunteer lawyers for artists, for other people. And so take advantage of these opportunities to go and speak with a lawyer, even if they can't do everything. What can they do? Could they help you, with your trademark? Could they help you with your contracts? You know what I mean? Could they help you with something that will get you just a little bit further than where you are to protect what you have? What you have are assets. Like, your creativity is an asset. You know what I mean? What you're putting out there is assets for you and your business. So make sure that you are protecting it as best you can, right? And that's one of the ways. It's really sad that we get to a place where you fighting for your life for something you created. Like, it's just like, my
I
God.
know that's the hard part. I want to get our first guest up here today. Latoya Oyeniran. She didn't give me a whole lot about her company, but it's called the founder. She's the founder of Braid Miracle.
Ooh.
And it says the first brand exclusively built around braid care. So we're gonna let her tell us about it. Then we're gonna let Latanya. I'm sorry. We're gonna let Latanya come up and tell us about it. So come to the stage. Good morning, Latanya.
Good morning. How are you
Good
ladies
morning.
doing?
Good. How are
Good. How
you?
are you?
Excellent. So my name's Latonia Oyeneron. It's Nigerian. I know it's hard to pronounce, but
Latonia.
Latonia. Okay, got it.
yes, yes. And so Braid Miracle is a clean braid care brand that I created exclusively for people who wear braids so that they have solutions for tension, itchiness, scalp buildup while they're wearing the style, but then they can also feel comforted knowing that the ingredients we use are quality and it's all healthy.
Is it hair or is it products like sprays and
So we have a spray that relieves tension and itch. It's made with banana juice and essential oils. We also do have braiding hair that's anti-itch and made with Spectra fibers, as well as our Miracle Mitts, which are glove-shaped wipes that cleanse the scalp of buildup. So those are our three products that we have.
and when did you start this?
2020, in the midst
Now,
of,
Latonia, I
yeah.
gotta tell you this. How your tagline is like the only or the first?
Mhm.
I don't know about that. In 2020,
The
that's too short. That was just 6 years ago.
Yeah. So, what sets us apart and why I feel confident in saying that is because we're exclusively focused on braid care. There are other brands that make braid products, braiding hair, and different things, but our focus is actually braid care exclusively and using quality products.
What? Tell me more about it though. I rather you be spending money on a tagline that tells me like literally what is happening. You know what I mean? Like what's going on with it? Why does it make it the best product? Why does it
I
make it
think
the
what
best?
makes it the best is because it's created for and by someone who actually wears braids. So I am the target audience. I get it. And we're very intentional about what we create. I think with braids, there's a lot of things we can put out on the market. We can put out a foam, we can put out braid gel, but we want to actually solve problems that people are experiencing and no one else has solved. So that's what we did by creating the gloves that no one else has that cleanse your scalp. But when you look at the ingredients, you'll see natural ingredients. That's the reason behind the spray. You spray it on immediately, it gets rid of that tension and that itch. And it's also the reason why we came out with the braiding hair. We could have just, went with what everybody was doing at the time, but we intentionally sought out a fiber that was antimicrobial and anti-itch. So I think that's what sets us apart. But also the proceeds from our products also support braiding classes for women who are survivors of human trafficking. So that's also a big part of our mission.
And you said they're
Okay.
gloves. There,
Yes,
it's a glove.
I can show you. Um, so it comes in this pack. So imagine like scalp wipes, but instead of just using the wipe, you have a glove that you can put on. And so,
And the glove has product in it.
yes,
Okay.
it already has the products on it. So you don't need any water. You would just put it on and you'll be able to get in your scalp and it
Hmm.
feels so good. So yeah. And
Hmm.
you'll see all of the dirt and all that stuff when you use it. So yeah.
And then what is it doing to the scalp?
It's cleansing the scalp. So it has witch hazel, it has cleansers in it. So you definitely should be washing your hair when you have braids. You should not just, go and let it be dry and dirty. But when you're coming out of the gym, when you've been sweating, I sweat a lot in my sleep. So this is something that you can use in between those washes.
Oh my goodness, I don't have any hair now. Like I don't have enough, for it. So I wonder, does it work with like if you have like my son has locks,
Oh,
like he has locks and I wonder if it yes.
absolutely. You have beautiful hair, by the way. I love the color on you.
Girl,
Yeah.
whoop, don't get me pumped up this
No,
early.
it looks great. You can definitely use it for locks. All of our spray and the gloves definitely. We have a lot of customers who have locks. It works the same.
Interesting. Now this is really interesting. Now this is really interesting because I do know of a lot of people who are struggling when they get like their hair braided and then they have like breakouts, or you know what I mean, like that, like with the synthetic hair. So
Yes.
what is it with the difference in your hair that's making it so that it does not lead to that same um
That's
irritation?
Yeah, so the difference is a lot of mainstream hair, like Expression, uses kanekalon fibers, which are heavily coated with all types of chemicals that cause that irritation. Spectra is different. It's a different fiber. It doesn't have that same coating, and it was patented in Korea with antimicrobial properties. So typically, if you get your hair braided with Spectra, it's not going to cause that scalp irritation. It's made in a completely separate process.
So Spectra
The
is
fiber,
not the, okay, yeah, okay, so it's the
Mhm.
fibers that are
Yes,
used.
it's the fiber that it's made out of.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So how did we find out this information now, Latonia? Because I'm out here I'm like, what is happening here? My daughter gets her hair braided. Girl, my daughter gets her hair braided all the time.
Yes.
And they just pick up packs of hair. They just go in the store, get a pack of hair, and they go ahead and it's happening. So where can we find like information about how to, choose the right hair for your, what you have going on? How do we do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think as of lately, there's been a lot of innovation in the braid space. There's a lot of information out there now. I would encourage all consumers to do your research, like go online, look into the different brands, look into the reports that are out there, educate yourself. And I think that's the best advice I can give is to do your research. I don't know if there's just one place that has it all, but definitely type that question in and you will see some information coming up on it.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay, so you got braiding hair, you got the products, and then what was the other thing? You said you're giving back to.
Yes, so we hold braiding classes for survivors of human trafficking. So they're learning braiding skills so that they can make an income from it instead of, other avenues that aren't leading to their success and freedom. And so that started through a partnership that I have with an organization here in Houston called The Landing, where that's their whole mission is to help these clients get back on their feet, get out of the lifestyle that they're in and just help rebuild their lives.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what do you work with? Is that like partnerships that you have, or like the government? How do you run it business wise? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that work with the business part of it?
Absolutely. So I'm on the board of The Landing, which is the organization I mentioned. And so we take in instructors to their building. They have case managers who will refer the students for this class. They come in, they take the class, they graduate, and then we follow up with them in hopes that they would start braiding hair. So it all kind of just fits together.
And if they start braiding hair, then they would use your hair? Is that how it works?
They can, I mean, definitely they can use our hair, but it's more so just for them to have that skill and earn an income, however they choose to do it, whatever hair, whatever products they choose to use. And the reason why braiding is such a perfect way for them to take that next step, it's so low barrier. In 37 states, you don't need a license to braid hair. So it's very easy to get into and just start making money.
Yeah.
I'm just still on me. Listen, because on me, the last time I got braids, it took my edges out. We're not going to bring that up, okay?
Yeah.
We're not even going to say nothing. And it was, and it's the tension and the pulling, right?
Mhm.
But one of the things, so you're only online?
We are primarily online. We are in 27 Salon Services Pro stores. So if you are a professional, you can purchase in store at Salon Services Pro. We're also on Amazon, also on Walmart.com.
Where are you based?
Houston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I just get excited. I really do. I don't, like I said, my daughter wears braids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's another thing. Like, oh, I got a question. You know how when you get the braids, and I know they doing the knotless ones now, does it help with that build up? You know how they get at the knot part, that build up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have videos on Instagram and TikTok of me using the gloves and other people using the gloves. You can definitely see the difference when you use them, and all that buildup just comes off. So it's definitely good for that. It
Okay.
really works.
Mm-mm.
It really works.
Good. Well, yeah, we'll definitely make sure we check it out.
Please do.
Yeah, it sounds great.
It
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
So we can get you. So if you're listening and you need to go and try the amazing Braid Miracle, you can get it at braidmiracle.com. And where else? Tell them where else they can pick up their products, Latonia.
Say it again. I'm so sorry.
Where else can they pick up the products online, and where else? Walmart.com and
Yes. So Amazon.com, Walmart.com. You can also find them in Salon Services Pro in all of their stores.
is the
Okay.
brand Braid Miracle?
The brand is Braid Miracle. Yes.
Tell her my
Okay.
daughter.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Have a good rest
You're
of your
welcome.
day.
Have a good day,
Y'all
beautiful.
too.
All
It was
right.
a
Bye.
pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was at the Chicago pitch competition, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like so at the competition, the last, there's 7 people who make it to the second round. And then that, you go to, so it's me and a shout out to Bruce Montgomery in Chicago. And we're asking the founders different questions, of course. And I feel like he was asking them questions and he was throwing them such an alley oop and they just wasn't hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was throwing them the moment and they just wasn't hearing it, and they were
Mm-hmm.
answering it out of like need or out of um like he might say, well, do you have a team? Right. And the person would say, I got some contractors, like nobody asked you how to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody needs to know all that. That's not what we said. The question is, do you have a team? You know what I'm saying? And I think that like sometimes people don't hear you throwing them the moment to create a moment for themselves. Because I don't know, people just be stuck on one, maybe people just don't have whatever, again, resource. Maybe just never encountering having to go through the process in a way where like you got to say more than I'm the best, or you got to say
Mm-hmm.
more than I'm getting the thing
Mm-hmm.
done, or you got to say more than like, no, because yeah, like I think that maybe people just are not a part of those experiences where like, this is your moment to really break it down. Like, hey, what is it? How is it? What is it? How does it work? Tell us the thing. Sell me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think like, but I think, maybe you just don't have those moments. So my feedback to the woman who's like, I got some contractors, is like, that ain't what we asked you about your team. So when we say, what's your team? We want to hear, I got an operations person. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 operations person, 1 marketing person, 3, I'm making this up, 3 influencers that post for us regularly. Like we're trying to hear business, right? Like for my business, I have these pieces for my business. Another woman was it was like she was selling like coffee. And it was like, okay, the coffee industry is crowded. Why, what makes you different? And she kept talking about everybody else, like, because I give back, because I'm just, my community, not just for me, and we were just sitting there like, that's not, love that, but that's not what makes you the best. You know what I mean? And I think that like what I wanted to hear, because the braid market is packed. We all know that. It's all kinds of products up and down the aisle. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure if it matters who started first, second, third. It's packed, right? So being in competition with all the and you know this too from the from your products. Being in competition with everything standing in front of somebody on the aisle, what makes you different won't be whether or not you came first, second, third, last. It won't be, because we all, at that point, we're seeing it. But in a moment when you have a platform, like, use it to really go, like, because my ingredients are X1, like my ingredients are this, and these ingredients do this to the body, right? Like, this is what's usually happening to the body. Here's what's happening to the body with my ingredients, right? Like, here is give me the science behind it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that moment, I want to go to the site right in and be like, I can't live without it, because I got lost right now and my head is itching right now. Like, I want to go immediately and do the thing. And I think sometimes people just miss their moment of like, hey, like, this is the moment to really go in.
But I think just now, I think you unlocked it for somebody that's listening, right? Because we all know that when you're standing up on a stage and you have your 3 minutes or your 60 seconds, or you know what I mean, whatever you're pitching about, or even when somebody like throws it out there, part of it is being fully equipped with the answers to the questions, right? Like, fully equal, like, I'm gonna practice this, and knowing what they're looking to hear. And so I think that you just unlocked what a funder, or what somebody asking that question in a moment, what they're looking for, right? I'm not looking for you to tell me, because we give back, right? Or, whatever it is. I'm looking for you to really break down why I need this product, how this is differentiated, what your value proposition is. And a lot of times people just don't know, right, how to unlock that. They don't know, they don't know. And I see it with a lot of entrepreneurs, right, as they've created these amazing brands or products and that sort of thing, and then they stand up in front of somebody and you say, well, tell me all about, what makes you, and they're kind of like, because we give a portion of our proceeds to, and that's amazing, like, it really, really is. But I'm speaking specifically about your product, right? And I think that sometimes they use that as their differentiator, and they don't know that that's not it, right? That's your social impact. And so that's what you're doing to impact the community. And it's amazing, right? But also, when you say stuff like that, you open up the door for, well, how do you have enough profit to be able to do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're giving back, you're
That's
giving away your
literally,
own.
you know
Yes,
what I mean?
like,
And as somebody who invests and as a funder, that's literally what I was thinking.
yeah.
Because immediately I'm like, well, let me go to the website.
Mm-hmm.
So first I'm like, if people are making a lot of money off of the one thing that they're saying is their significant thing, then why do they need to start another thing? So that's my thing first. Like, if you're making enough money off of this one product, then why is it that I need to sell this other product too? Okay, but if you're telling me like I see an opportunity in that other product, then cool, right? Like, and so meaning like, and again, me and you have had these conversations where I'm like, you got this one that's selling. Why do you do this other one? You like, you don't understand, because we gotta do this in the industry. And I'm like, got it, because I'm not in that industry. So I'm like, cool. I think that like the understanding where to grow at what moments is important for people. And I think like that education, I'm so excited that people get to learn from you, because you've literally done it. You know what I'm saying? You've literally done it in this product lane of like, what does this actually look like, from down to the chemical makeup, to the packaging, to your
It's
packaging got
wild.
messed up,
Yes.
to your packaging got lost at sea, to your, you know what I mean? Like, all of those different things. And I think like what the value becomes is what people sometimes not like. You're working, you're in it, you're working, you're going. It's hard to see like, what is the value of my product to the moment that I'm in front of sometime. Like, we got a very active listening audience. We have people in the comments who are saying like, I'm gonna try it. Absolutely, everybody should try it. Like, bravemiracle.com, definitely go and check it out. One, I didn't have, so when people sign up for the show, they have the opportunity to leave 100-word bio. I didn't have any information other than like, it's just the number one product. And I'm like, okay. So I really can't do but for so much. So I'm learning everything when you come on, because I don't have I don't have anything else I can say. I can't, other than the website. And I'm like, well, help me help you. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you got an opportunity to give somebody a bio, give it, so we can actually help. You know, another thing, Takia, and maybe I also take this for granted. I want to be aware of like sharing this with people, is that I've had a lot of media training. Like I've done media. I've been to media, done the media all across almost every platform out there, maybe except for like Complex. I didn't do Breakfast Club either yet. But anyway, long story short, did some writing on the journalist side, also been a host of multiple shows and done multiple interviews. And I realized like people don't actually get just media training.
Yeah. Like that's
right?
a whole thing.
That's a whole thing. It's like, what are your talking points? Like I remember being on like Fox Business or something like that. And the host trying to steer me in a whole different direction. I'm like, nah, bruh, I'm sticking to my talking points. Like I got my talking points, I'm sticking to them. You're not about to get me off this hill. Yeah, anything they say, they might be like, oh yeah, it's raining cats and dogs. You'd be like, it's raining cats and dogs for sure. And when it's raining cats and dogs, you can go to BGV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you gotta like have that thing wrapped up and ready and tight. Speaking of wrapped up and ready and tight, my daughter's locked out. And I need to go there.
Now let the baby in.
Right quick. So I'm
let the baby in. You be right
the
back.
other person hasn't come, so you can
I'm
respond to what I said right quick. Okay, I'll be right back.
All right. So that is so funny, but Omi is absolutely right. As you think about your entrepreneurial journey and you start to decide, like, I'm going to be out here, I'm going to be talking about my business, it does take a lot of practice for you to know what you want to say, to who, and when. And it's okay that you don't necessarily have it all together right now. That is absolutely okay. It's not okay not to get it together. And so we have to understand that when you're speaking to certain people, one, you need to know who you're talking to, right? And so as we have these conversations and you going into these amazing rooms, if you're standing in front of somebody who is a funder, they're hearing you differently. It's not just about you saying that you're the best and you're amazing, and that sort of thing, or you toting um our product is this, or they're looking for specific keyword words, and you wouldn't know that unless you actually started having conversations with funders and then understanding and asking them questions about what they want to hear. What are they looking for? My number one suggestion and where I started was because I started pitching early in my business, so I had a ton of practice pitching, and it didn't necessarily matter whether or not I won or lost. Of course, I wanted to win. However, it was the practice. It was about getting up there, getting feedback, having my business on a stage, being able to promote what I had, and then also getting to hear what the judges were looking for. But if you're not pitching right now, that's not something you want to do. You can actually go out and Omi, I was just telling everybody about, when you first start your business or when before you get out there, like one, pitching is one of those skills, right? That being a part, and you don't necessarily, because sometimes we go into it and we're thinking about getting the money, right? Like
That's
we're
all
thinking
people
about,
thinking about. And you
yeah, and it's
should,
just,
but that's
and
all
you
they thinking
should,
about.
right? But I also, challenge people to get the practice, right? And so a lot of it is getting that practice, about what it is judges are looking for, what funders are listening to hear, how you can say it in a very clear and concise manner, how to answer a question. Because that's another thing that I don't like. You do not have to go into a whole spiel about it. If they ask you how much is your revenue, state the number and be quiet. Like when I like just say what it is.
So first of all, that part. Okay, so when it comes to pitching, imagine that there's phases, right? In the sense of like there's your pre-pitch and however you get ready for it. There's a pitch moment, but then there's Q&A. I remember coaching this girl, her pitch went amazing. Got to the Q&A, flatline. You know what I mean? Because you're not ready to answer. You spent so much time practicing the pitch, knowing what to say in the pitch, narrowing down to 3 minutes, narrowing down to 2 minutes to 60 seconds. You spend so much time doing that you didn't even prepare for the moment where you're gonna get some questions asked of you.
Yeah.
And how you're gonna answer them questions. And then people have a lot of uncomfortability when it comes to revenue. Like if you don't have a lot of revenue, or then you don't want to talk about it. And it's like, but what people want to hear is, what is your plan?
Mm-hmm.
People are buying into people's plans. People buy into the vision. People buy into like the understanding of other people and what you create. And I think that's what I mean about the moment when somebody says, well, tell us why your product is different. Right. Like that's the moment where literally tell us why your product is different. And it ain't because you the first, it ain't because you the only, it ain't because you black, it ain't because
Yeah.
it could be because of your understanding. So I do like I'm a person who gets this, so I get this, but then you got to go deeper. Right. Because you're not the only person that does it. Most people are experiencing it. So in that case, knowing somebody that looks like me, sounds like me, gets this thing done, or has had this experience themselves, then you got to wrap it in a story. Then you got to tell me like, okay, but why you were dealing with what? You had what? You dealt with what? You put X, Y, to Z together at your table and then figured out what? And then how did you expand to multiple scalps or multiple lips or multiple people that could do that same thing? Because even if you put the thing together for yourself, does not mean it now is available to sell to everybody else, because everybody got different hair types, lip types, skin types. Yeah, it's like the scale of it is still a part of the story.
Yeah, I think and I think that there needs to be, and there I say there absolutely needs to be training around that. And like as you go about this journey, like I challenge people all the time to start researching the questions that funders are asking, right? So a lot of times we research our business, we research the market, we know our numbers, we know how much, like what our customers are, all of that, but also start looking into what funders are asking business owners if you're pitching for one, but even going into a bank. And that's what I was saying when Omi had stepped away. Like we all, if you have a business and you have a business banker, go in and schedule an appointment with your business banker and start, and like, this is my business, this is what I'm wanting, this is what I'm trying to do, I need to raise capital, or I'm trying to get money. What questions, if I start talking to you about my business, what questions would you want to have answered? And that might be your first place to start asking, like a funder, somebody in finance, the type of information that they're looking to hear from you or from business owners in regard to money. Because what I, as a consumer, might be looking to hear is something totally different when somebody is giving you some money, right? When somebody is investing in your business. And so I'm excited to hear about, oh my God, it works. Like I was pumped up to hear, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I can get the dirt out of my head with a glove. Like that gets me excited. However, if I'm a funder, like, okay, well, how much do these gloves cost? You know what I'm saying? What is your profit margin with these gloves? How many have you sold in the last year? Is this going to be your MVP product, right? Are people actually, so it's just kind of like making sure that you
You
understand.
making a good point. You making a good point, because I don't think I ever turned the funder thing off. But you know
You
what?
don't.
I
You
don't.
don't.
I don't. I
You
can't.
don't.
It's like my brain is wired there now.
Yes.
So I'm always thinking about business model. And let me tell y'all, not even with just, I'm not even talking about just like black owned business and that like that. I'm talking about everything I'm encountering. If I'm getting my
Oh my
nails done, if I'm buying some shoes, you know what I'm saying? I'd be thinking about, wait a minute now.
friend, let me try to tell you, we have been friends for a long time. I'm being honest, y'all. This and I love, and I love this woman down. Okay. We like in the middle, we'll be talking in the middle of the conversation. She be like, okay, so now go back. So when you got tell me about the lips. So how many units do you have to order? What are and I'm like, girl, only we was not talking about that. I'm
Okay.
talking about
Okay.
like, sir. She
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, you're right. But and then too, but that's a thing, and people need to. But that's also knowing who you're talking to. Like, it's not just about you having conversations. You need to know exactly who you're talking to and why. And a lot of times we just be out here talking. And when you come on shows, when when you sign up for things, who are these people? What do you know about them? If let me try to tell you something, I'm gonna stalk you. I want to know everything about you. about who I'm talking to. If I'm going to get up here and I'm going to share my business or share something, I want to know, why I'm doing it, who I'm talking to, and what is in it for me. What's in it for me? It's not just about sharing. What's in it for me? Am I trying to get more customers? Am I trying to like, what am I trying to do? And I think we have to be really intentional about having conversations. You don't have to talk just to talk. You don't.
Yeah. And I should also let people know, like when you come on here, you know, we are wanting to really get down to selling your business, right? In a sense that like I want you to walk away from here with customers. I want you to walk away from here with people being like, I gotta have that today. Like I want you to really capitalize on the platform that we have. And I'm always thinking, I'm thinking multiple things. I'm also thinking like, dang, could we buy 100 of those? You know what I mean? Like I like people don't know this part, but then I'm thinking like, could we do like a bulk order and put it in like our gift bags? Like could we, like I'm thinking all kinds of things that people don't know when I just be thinking things. So I
Right.
be thinking,
Yeah, but my
like,
thing is, yeah, but that's important to know, right? It's important to know that people are thinking, they might be thinking outside of what your thought is. Like, I'm here and I'm going to get on and I'm going to talk about my business and I'm going to send everybody to my website, and then they're going to purchase from me, or I'm going to achieve this goal of actually, getting out and doing more promo or PR, whatever it is. But then you have somebody who heard what you said and loved your product, and they're like, oh my goodness, well, can I, can I order 100 units from you? Can I order 200? Like, that is an option. And so I want you to be prepared. Like, a lot of times it's like we're not prepared for the biggest thing. Like, it's just like, be
oh my
prepared for the
God,
biggest
that we
thing.
are not prepared for the
So
biggest
be
thing.
prepared to, like, for your mind to be blown.
We're not
Like, when
prepared
you
for the
get up
biggest
here, be
thing.
prepared for, be prepared for everybody to go to your website. Be prepared for, corporations to want to buy your stuff. Be prepared for that. Like, be that wild about your business that you're like, I'm expecting, as a matter of fact, I'm expecting the biggest thing
Well,
to
here's the
happen.
thing, because that's the show that I want to be. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like that's the show that I want to be. That is and that is the mechanism that we are as BGV, right? Like we have people who are like, yeah, I'm looking for founders that can do blah blah. I'm looking for,
Hmm.
but let's just for a minute just tapping into, are you thinking as big as you can think? Right? Like, are you going as far as you can go? How are you using your free will today? How are you using your free will today? What kind of perceived deadlines have you locked yourself into? What kind of self-imposed deadlines have you locked yourself into? What kind of self-imposed metrics and characteristics have you said are a barrier for you today? Who haven't you called and asked the questions of? Right? Yeah, I mean, like when people say like, yeah, because I need capital, and I say, well, how many people you ask? Oh, well, before I just wanted to, okay, well, cool. Well, I get needing, but like, but then people get, and this is why again, I started getting real careful about repeating that stat around like, oh, less than 1% of Black owned gas and venture. Like, that's true, but I started getting cautious about repeating it, because what I started noticing is that people would say that and then just wouldn't do. They were like, oh, well, ain't nobody gonna give me no money. Like, it started to create that in us. And I'm like, nah, time out. You asked 2 people and then you like, ain't nobody gonna give me no money? No. You asked 5 people, you like, ain't nobody gonna give me no money? No. You need to ask at least 100 people before you say, ain't nobody gonna blah. And I mean like 100 different kinds of people, fund, nonprofits, for-profits, government agencies, like go all in as much as you can and figure out capacity, because I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not want to minimize any of this, because I'm not saying that you're going to do it in a day. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you ain't got 10 kids to take care of and 2 parents and 5 dogs. I don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not here to lay claim that it's going to be something you're going to be able to do overnight. I'm not. I am saying though, don't give up. I don't care
Yeah.
how many stats come out. Do not give up. When I was a teen mom, and they're like, oh, kids that have teen moms ain't going whatever. I blew all that out of the water because I was like, bump that. Y'all ain't gonna tell me individually. Now I don't know what they can do as a collective. Yes to general stats, got that, but it ain't about to be my story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
One of the things only that I did and to look to operationalize, that is I every day, I write down everything. But every day, like I have my life broken up into, like financial, spiritual, business, that sort of thing, family. And every day I have to do one hard thing in each one of
mm,
those categories,
mm,
right? In each one of those categories, I have to do one hard thing. Now, some days the hard thing is just cleaning a bathroom. You know what I'm saying? But that was a hard thing for me.
that's
You
it.
know, that was hard. But it's like a lot of times when we write our to-do list or we think about our task or we start knocking off the little things, I mean the easy things, and that's okay. Listen, knock them off. I choose the hard thing first. Give me, let me come out the gate swinging, right? Now, am I doing it crying? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Like, I am crying. Am I afraid? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do I get a yes every time? No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it don't go the way I thought. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes I thought it was going to be worse than what it was, and somebody just be like, "Oh, okay." And so you mean to tell me I've been fighting with this thing for
The whole
30
time.
days and all I had to do was just ask or say or have the hard conversation. So I will challenge anybody, like, listen, even if it's not like, I've broken mine up into segments, but like one hard thing, like hard. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, and it's not, and it can't be the like, okay, mine one day, mine was calling the bank to because I had defaulted on my line of credit.
mm,
Nobody want to have that conversation. Nobody wants to have the conversation. But I had to have it. Like, if I want to move forward, if I don't want this thing that have me locked, in a place of fear or chained to something, have the conversation. Like, listen, I messed up. I messed up. I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? I was struggling. I probably should have called you before now, but I didn't. I messed up. What can I do now? What's the now? Right?
mm,
And that's it. So I just challenge you, like, if it's do one hard thing. One
mm.
hard thing.
And if everything feels hard, your nervous system is probably dysregulated, and you
Okay.
should do some breathing. Yes. I mean,
Listen.
that's right, because sometimes you're like, I can't even pick the hard thing because like everything is just like you know what I mean? Like that happens. And if
It
that's the
does.
case, then we should do a little nervous system regulation. Okay. Do
Mm-hmm.
some breathing techniques. You can go to thebreathingbell.com, go into the app. It's real simple, real easy flow. You don't need to download anything and get and start and just regulate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that you're speaking to again, we're speaking deeply to wellness
Mm-hmm.
and how we manage ourselves and how we sort of reframe our day
Yeah.
and reframe what we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can hit a place, but like especially from a product-based business, like revenue in, revenue out. It's like money coming in, money going right back out. Ain't no money coming in your pocket. It's like, look, I got a product came in, everything went right back
Listen.
out. And by the
Listen.
time you got taxes, fees, and your light bill, you like, child, nothing. You know what I
No.
mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It could just be very dysregulating to
Yes.
have to go through that for a month, 2 months, like at a time. Like this ain't no short amount of time that people are going through
Mm-mm.
the things,
Mm-mm.
right? And I think too, that's the thing about product-based businesses. When people come on, they have product-based businesses, immediately we know the mechanics. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I'm saying me and Takia. I'm not saying everybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a t-shirt business, and I used to also do print merchandise for different companies. Tequila has a whole makeup line, and oil and scented oils, right? So it's like understanding, like immediately, you know, the mechanics. But again, in the marketing and advertising, which is what people are coming for, we want to prop you up to the best of our ability for marketing and advertising. I think though, one of the things that we probably could figure a way to speak to, and maybe this is just exploring, is that what I see in those founders when they're doing those pitches, and then it's like, well, how many people on your team? It's like, child, it's just me. You know, like, or they go into the like, well, I'm a solo founder, and I'm just out here. You know, it's just, and or they say it in a sense of pride.
Yeah.
Well, how many? And I've done this all by myself, and it's like, I mean, like, first of all,
you're the single point of success and the single point of failure. That's what it is. Like, you know, get that out of your vocabulary. You don't want to do this by yourself. You do not. You may have been doing it by yourself. Okay, how fast? And that's the thing, though, right? That's the thing, because we're also now only getting mixed signals, right? With this new AI situation. You know what I mean? We're getting a lot of mixed signals in regard to, you know, team or no team, how big your team has to be, how small it could be, how much you can rely on AI, how much you can't, you know, and that sort of thing. So that can also be a point. Like right now, we're in this ebb and flow. Like we're trying to figure out, like, okay, like I might not need a team of 10, you know what I mean? I might need a good team of 3, you know what I mean? Like that I can count on. But this AI though on me is really throwing a wrench in, and I've been seeing it in these pitch streets.
So yes, and okay. It is, however, so in terms of like expectations are being curved now around like what kind of team you gotta have. That's where I see the shift. Where the shift is not where this always was, that people didn't realize it was that question is really about how smart you can be with it. That's really what that question is about. It's like, how savvy are you being with it? So where AI plays right into how savvy you're being is you get to now say that versus saying I gotta have humans for everything. Now you get to say, here is here is how I'm making this work. Again, the question do you have seems like, how are you making this work though? Like you alone aren't making it work, can't make it work, or at least that's not sustainable. So like, how is this all working? All the questions that are being asked a lot of times when it comes to pitching or that kind of thing is, how is this actually working though? Like, how is this working? How are you making this thing happen? How is this thing? Like, that's really what people are trying to get to. And then here's the kicker for me. When people tell me how much revenue they got, but then tell me they don't have no team. And then I'm like, well, why are you making all this money and not building AI agents if that's what you're going to do, or have a team? Why don't you? Because Takia's right. Right now, the signaling that's happening within the pitch world is you can have 2 employees and 5 AI agents. You can have a $10 million company. It's happening right now. Literally, right? It's happening. So it's worth it for you as a solo founder to figure out, to sit down, take some time to figure out how to build these AI agents, or how to have somebody help you build it. Take some free classes. It's stuff all around the internet now about AI. It's not easy on the agent side. I want to be clear. Claude Code or getting into coding with it or getting into building with it is actually easy. Building with Codex or building with Claude, that's actually easier. Building the agents has not reached, I think, the level of like ease and public consumption that it will eventually. Right now, people are still figuring out how to make these agents do a thing. Or you have people who are more advanced who started agent agencies. Now you have people who have an agent agency, which all they do is build agents and run agents for you. Be careful with that. But I'm just saying that those things exist. So yes, you don't need to say I got 10 employees no more. You could say it's me and 5 agents. You could say it's me, 1 other person and 3 agents. You could say I got 2 sales agents and 1 operational agent. Like now you can't say that.
But I think
though is what's the savviness?
Yeah, I think too, honestly, on me as a founder, right? I mean, you're a founder too, right? But you're a founder who funds, right? And so I'm a founder who educates people about getting funds. One of the things that we need to hear more from is what funders are looking for, right? Because it's just like sometimes, I mean, like listening to this, and that's what I was saying, listening to you share is really opening the door, and you know what I mean, for somebody to be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, I never thought that way, right? Oh my goodness, like, okay, let me really take ownership of this and move in a different way. I know that when I hear funders speak, right, and talk, like I get more like I can be like, oh, okay, well that's what, okay, all right, like I do that because most of the stuff that you're saying, we do it. Like you're doing it, like you're doing it every day in your business. You're not verbalizing it when it matters most, right? So
That's
it's
right.
not that you're
That's
not
it.
doing it. You're
That's it.
doing it.
That's it.
It's just that when it matters most, all of a sudden you clam up and now you're giving away all your money. No, wait, hold on, hold the line, right? Like when it matters most, how can you? And it's okay, I think too. People forget, like it's okay for you to be like, I'm a strong and mighty team of three. Like I'm a strong and mighty team of three people. And so I've been able to, with these three people, I've been able to do the
That's the
thing.
part. That's the
Yeah,
part.
like you know what I mean? These three people, like, and that lets a funder know, oh, okay, she's fiscally responsible. Like
That's
she's
it.
managing her money. Remember, funders are risk averse. They're not trying to put their money somewhere and you about to fail. Right. So you're letting them know, listen, I got a mighty team of three. You know what I mean? We out here rolling. Like, I do this, she do this, we do this. But again, answer the question. Stop giving, like sometimes we just start talking. Don't talk. What did they ask you? How many members do you have a team? Yes, I have an amazing team of three phenomenal individuals. Shut up. If they don't ask you another question, and you answered the question. You don't have to, because what happens is you start talking and you get yourself into trouble because now you're opening a door for conversation that they didn't even know that was happening. So if they
Well,
ask,
you move into a place of unsafety. See,
yeah,
so what
no,
happens is that like people start fighting for their lives up there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I think even in the like, I have a mighty team of three. What are their roles? Because if you tell them you got a team of three and they out marketing, then I'm like, that's not savvy. That's not smart. But if you telling me I got a team of three and one is operations, one is marketing, and then I am fundraising, or
hmm
and it's based on, and then it's like because of our expertise, our expertise lives like that, or this person and intersectional expertise, right? Like you was an educator and you was uh and you had a t-shirt company. Okay, great. So then that person's job is sales, right? Because they get how to educate and they get how they
hmm
get the product base.
hmm
Like it's like that the savviness of it all. It's like getting down to the, okay, great. You got three team members. What do they do and why are they doing it? Right? Like and be able to say that in like a quick way.
hmm
From a funder standpoint,
mm.
so what I'll say is like, because I'm like, how do I want to say this, child? Because I love the people and I don't want to seem, black women leaders get a bad rap for being some of the harshest people on the planet,
hmm
right?
hmm
And I think that's unfair, but I also have worked under a black woman boss who was one of my most harshest bosses ever. Two of them
yeah,
actually.
yeah,
And I think it's because of the constant, the historical, tied to unsafety, that we're always trying to like push each other forward in a way that even if it's a toxic way, we trying to help each other out in a way. It's like I'm trying to tell you the truth because ain't nobody out here telling you the truth, child. The people
hmm
get mad. Then people get mad at me. One of the missteps that I have made, and so I'm working on something in the background to share publicly about my 10 years at BGV and about where I feel like I went right and where I feel like I went wrong.
hmm
I'm going to share this eventually. At the moment, I'm working on it. I want it to be very refined and put together
hmm
when I do put it out. because there's because of the nature of all the like the idea of like how Black women are. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like in the early days of BGV, I was getting that like, oh, I'm being so no nonsense that it's
Mm-hmm.
rude. You know what I mean? Like, and not like intentionally. Like, I'm not calling nobody names and that. Like, I'm not calling nobody stupid and like I'm not doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, to the point where I'm like, I'm always trying to figure out what's happening. Why is this happening? Why do we do this? Who made this decision? Why did you, the why of it all, and me evolving into like more empathy and a more regulated nervous system, just being honest.
Mm-hmm.
To realize like, oh, like where I am feeling unsafe, where I have to keep all this together. And a part of me keeping all this together means I got to keep you together, and learning how to keep people together and do the thing without being unsafe myself. That's a journey,
Mm-hmm.
but when people get in front of judges and they're pitching it, they don't feel it's a space of feeling unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
So the having to prove that your thing works, or having to prove yourself that it can make money, or having to prove it against like what you think the funders believing. And there's also this sentiment that all the funders are just against you.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. Like, we're not all against people.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for
Yeah.
all funders, but it's not always that the funder's against or the funder doesn't believe you got to make them. It's not always that. It is that you've seen so many freaking businesses. Like you just
Mm-hmm.
seen like, even with the break here, when she was saying like, oh, we're the only, and I'm like, oh, girl, you know how many braid things I've seen. It's just like, and part of it, we need to also back up as funders. Let me acknowledge that, because we're also exhausted by people telling us this is the only one of these. Ain't
Yes.
nobody doing it like me.
Yes.
Nobody else has. And it's like, girl,
Yeah.
I just saw 5 of y'all last week doing the exact same thing. Somebody's doing what you're doing, and that's okay, because it's actually unsafe for the funder if you're the first. It's
Mm-hmm.
unsafe for the funder if you're the only. And I don't think people understand that. The funder
I th-
doesn't want you to be the only in that way you're
yeah.
thinking. That's not necessarily the unique proposition we're looking for when we say that.
Yeah, and I think you sharing that is very key, right? And so a lot of it, especially having been a founder who has pitched, right, and who has been in like these unsafe stages, right, and know what that feeling is, and you too, right? You know what the feeling is when you got to stand up there, and
Um,
even now, like when you're pitching BGV, to different organizations to, raise capital and that sort of thing, it does feel unsafe. And I always hold on to this, and it may not ring true for everybody else, but I tell myself this all the time. Am I going to do it anyway? If I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, whether you say yes or no, whether you get like, I'm going to do it anyway, then like I'm up there free as a bird. Now, am I still afraid? Yes. Does it still feel a little janky sometimes? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do I still get nerves about pitching every time? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't go anywhere. But if I can look at myself in the mirror and be like, Sakia, you're going to do this anyway. When I say yes, then I'm going in and I'm going to go hard for what I know to be true, right? And I'm going to answer your questions and I'm going to do the best that you can. No, I have left a pitch competition with no money. I have absolutely never left without a customer or a collaborator. So my
mm,
thing is, it's not just about, and that's the thing, when you get into this
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
you out here and all you up there is talking about is, you want to get the 50, I want to get the 20, I want to get the baby. I have lifelong customers that have invested more than that pitch competition in my
mm-hmm,
business.
mm-hmm.
And so if you go in there with the idea that it's okay, yes, I want the capital, I need the capital, my business, but I'm going to do it whether you give me the capital or not. I ain't walking out of here without somebody that's not willing to buy from me. I'm walking out of here and somebody gonna go to that website.
Mm.
Somebody gonna buy one of them lipsticks. Somebody gonna post my pitch, baby, on that social media, and I'm gonna be able to share it. Somebody gonna come up to me, and you have to go into it with a mindset where it's not just about the capital, it's about what you can do in that moment. That moment holds so much power that you have to wrap your head around. I can do all these things. And so just think about that too.
Oh my God. Like I was getting so hyped where you was talking. I was like, I don't want to forget my thought. I don't want to forget my thought. Because this is perimenopause show. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Pitching is a speaking opportunity. If you come in the media, it's a speaking opportunity. In fact, what you made me think of is the person that is saying you are the only is the customer, not you. That like the customer is the one that says, no, this is the only brand that does da, 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 da. That's what you want to feed. Like that's the sell you're doing, right? Like it's all this is psychological, but that's the sell you're doing is so the customer says, I ain't never seen that like that before. This is the only that when you say it, you almost like say that you take away the allure from the customer. Right. So think about this in your speaking moments. When you, to your point, you're pitching to not, you're going to walk away with a customer. You're going to walk with a brand deal. You can walk away because there's somebody in the audience who listen to you and go, oh shoot, that's the only time I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only person out of everybody on stage today. You was the only person I heard say, but you don't get there by pitching to the funders. That's the kicker. It's like, well, how do you get there? How do I put that into my pitch? You get it by knowing that you are having a speaking moment. This is a speaking moment for me to sell the hell out of what I've done, what I'm doing, what I did with what I came up with. That's what this is about. Now, if you sell the hell out of it, you bound to be in line for the funding. But you absolutely damn near guaranteed to get some customers out of the room or a partnership out of the room or some type of deal out of the room.
Yeah. But I think people have to rethink. Like it's just a readjustment in your thinking. And I know when I do my pitch training, like that's the first thing that I teach, right? It's not about the pitch, right? It's going into it and understanding that there are three components to this. It's three people in this room. And even if like the funder is also a customer and a collaborator.
100%.
Like that. So stop like they are customers. You are talking to your customers right now. And so my thing is a lot of times we put capital as king, like we put that up like at the forefront when our pitch is always the bottom. Right, like I know it's always the bottom. It's always that's the last thing. I'm walking into the room recognizing that everybody in this room is a customer. If I can transition, and that's a potential customer, if I can get 10% of this room, five, you know what I mean? If I can hit this room and get people that's willing to buy my product, talk about my product, say they met me, post me on social media, you know what I mean? Share my links, you know what I mean? Become one of my Thundercats, like whatever it is. That to me, that's a lifelong relationship. You can I've spent $15,000 in a day, like one day, right? When you're running a business, that money is gone. Like already, but most of the time, you already spent the money before you stepped up on the stage.
Right.
You actually paying back money.
Right.
To be totally honest.
Right. No, that's real. That's real.
So it's just like let's be real. Like, come on, give me I want long money. And that's the thing. We are in a microwave society where we're so used to this, real quick. Like no, I want long money. Wealth is long money. That's that years and years and years worth of money. I want the money. I'm gonna have money that I don't ever get to spend. This money for my grandchildren's grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? So what you have to have that in mind. Like I may not ever get to see the money that this business is really gonna generate, but I'm gonna set it up good. I'm gonna get this thing where when I pass it along, when my babies sell it or whatever I decide to do, we good. We good. But I think that sometimes we get in the mindset, it'd be wrong.
We do. We get stuck. And listen, you're young. This might not be the last business you do. Mm-mm. So also know that. You ain't gotta die on this hill. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not you permission. You have permission to sell, permission to shift, permission to move forward with your life and figure out what the next thing you're gonna do. Because this is, this is like boot games, Hunger Games boot camp. Okay, running a business, you figuring it all out. And if you lucky enough to stay in it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, then you have learned a hell of a lot that says you are also super highly valuable to another company that you can start. So like, that's another piece of that. It's like, I think that like people get into the business they're in, unit economics ain't working. And they feel like, well, if I just get this next infusion of capital, okay, get a fusion in capital. Is it working? Unit economics still ain't working. Multiple reasons why. No fault of your own sometimes. Or maybe you just made bad hiring decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like all this is going to be a thing that happens and it's okay. I think like that like that's the part. It's like it's okay.
It is. But I think hearing other people say, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so excited to watch and hear founders really being honest about what the journey really, really looks like. Because it does look like starting and stopping sometimes. It does look like opening and closing. It does look like, selling, right? It does look like getting out quick. It looks like that. And so I don't want you, I think that we have gotten a warped idea of what entrepreneurship looks like or what it should feel like, and how much money you should have and all of that stuff. In reality, a lot of us are in the red. There are a lot of business owners who are running in the red. There are a lot of business owners who are quietly closing, right? That you would never know, like some of your favorite people. And so I want you to also make sure that you are being mindful to not judge yourself and your business off of what you think you see from somebody else, because that's not necessarily true, right? It's not. And so you have, and we need to talk about this, and maybe this is on another episode. We got to talk about this selling situation and black women selling businesses and the stigma around that, baby. And I'm gonna get in trouble. I might get in trouble, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Baby, build that business and sell it.
Sell that thing,
Build that thing and
sell
sell
that
it.
thing.
If that is a part of your plan for your business, that is your exit strategy, you scale that thing up as high as you can scale it, so you can get the maximum amount of profit from that sale, and you sell the hell out of that business and you move on. And we have got to stop beating up black founders who get to a place where they can sell that business, because you have no clue how much it costs them to get that thing up and running. You do not. And you do not know the value of having a founder exit with multi-million dollars so that they can invest in another generation of founders. And you out here beating these women alive because they decided that they wanted to sell. And it's not that. Like, they have the right. And we need to get used to seeing business owners build, scale that thing, sell it, and start over. That's how it works. That's how it works.
We definitely have to bring this back tomorrow, because it's two sides to this, right? There is the side of this that is the business aspect of what's happening with the founder, which is what you just explained. Then there is where the customer has taken ownership over the brand in a way of how they take pride in being a customer, right? And no shade to that. But they don't want to be a customer, they say. They don't want to be a customer of some greater conglomerate that they feel like doesn't care about them. However, that's also not real, because the reality is it's highly likely that you're already a some type of customer of some type of conglomerate that that you disagree with on some level of their ways of being in politics and staff treatment and all that, in some way, from your phone to the grocery store you shop at to your freaking What's in
Your
your
house,
bathroom? Yeah, what's
your television, your
that
refrigerator.
all of that, you know, and I want to speak about the two parts because I think that like people just over index on what the founder is doing wrong, but or what the business owner. It's like that, but on the other end, we want generational wealth and we want people who become, you know, wealthy enough to support communities, and we want people to, and it's like, how do y'all think they do this? Either it's when somebody dies, because the greatest transfer of wealth is at death. So it's either somebody got to die, and that somebody that died got to have their ducks in a row, right? It is, or it was at one point. I don't even know if it's the same thing, but I'm going to say housing. You have a house, you have equity, you borrow against it, you start building and borrow that way, or you sell. And I'll just generally say real estate in some ways, right? Real estate. Insurance might be a way. Now, if that, you got to be able to pay into the insurance and then even to get anything out of the insurance, if you're doing the whole life, that whole bit, you got to be able to work long enough to pay in and yada yada yada. Some retail investing or general, like trying to run your own, like, you know, day trading and that type of thing. You know, okay, you're doing your thing, you're trying to figure that out. Business. Okay, running a business, selling a business, starting another business, selling that business, right? Like, how do you think that these people that y'all talk about be getting all these deals? Where do you think their money coming from? Somebody that started a business sold it. They took that, flipped it to something else, right? That they keep their money going through these, and then in my mind, this is how it works. Okay, this is my mind. I ain't saying this is how it works for nobody else, but you got to make the one big move. Like one big move typically happens, and that threads into the, you know, you can retail invest. Now you can, and now you can like eventually live off your portfolio because you invested in whatever. And that's because either you work for a corporation, you was making, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars at some executive level for a certain amount of time. You got vested shares at those startups that came out in the early days. They went public. You won a big, like, still a form of a liquidity event, right? Merge, sell, go public, right? Like, these things need to happen. The general public's response to it, to me, never makes sense. It doesn't make sense. The one part that does make sense about it is you don't want to now be the customer of the conglomerate you don't care about. But that doesn't, I get that in the initial thought, doesn't make sense for the long haul because you're already the customer of the freaking people they selling to through some other product.
Yeah. And my thing is, I think too, and absolutely yes. And I totally understand because a lot of brands that I have started to utilize or use that I love, I started because they were founded or owned by a black woman. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And so that excited me. And so I totally understand about how you're being fully vested in a company because of the founder, right? I totally get that. But I also get that there is sometimes a lack of information and you're not supposed to know, and that's fine. But it's just kind of like you sometimes people do not understand the back end of how these things are going. Like when you see your favorite company, the amount of debt that these business owners are carrying to be able to get you your favorite product is sometimes so nerve dysregulating that I need to get out of this now, like right now. Like just because you're seeing that they're selling out of the stores, or or you hear on the news that they made $1 billion, $1 billion of what, that's not $1 billion of their money. That founder does not have $1 billion, 1,710. They don't have that money. And they have creditors and debtors. And on top of that, you also have it where most of the time we do not own our own modes of production.
Mm. Okay, you want to get into
Um,
it? What we
I'll
doing? You
leave
just
that for
came back from
tomorrow.
Korea. We're
I
gonna leave
came
that
back
for
from.
tomorrow. We'll
Okay,
go.
leave it to tomorrow.
We'll leave that for tomorrow because we're at the end of the show. But like, if we're gonna really get into this thing, like, people gotta understand what's happening behind the scenes of business and think about your empathy and your grace a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I said we're
We'll
gonna
talk
talk
about
about it
it
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yes.
OMG. Yeah. Like the behind the scenes of it all. Thank y'all so much. BGV links, bit.ly/BGV links. Go check out. Also, we were talking about customers early. We do an engagement called a customer discovery blitz. It is an employee engagement opportunity. So if you are a corporation and you want to engage your employees, reach out to us because we have an opportunity to engage your employees with the general community. But we do this for our partners. Is one of the reasons why some of our partners really love us. Like they do the customer discovery blitz all the time. And it's because we give you access to customer feedback with low stakes, right? Meaning like you get to go pitch in front of somebody that could be potential customers, almost creating your like focus group for you. And it's a free engagement. Our partners pay us to do it. So if you're part of BGV Connect, go to bit.ly. You can see where say you can join BGV Connect, bit.ly/BGV links, and join BGV Connect because we'll put out there like, hey, do you want to, anybody want to participate in the customer discovery blitz? It's a great opportunity for you to get in front of different kinds of people to be able to talk about, to do your sale. And they can tell you, would I buy this? Does the pitch for the sale make sense? Does the way you're talking about your product, does a website match up with it? It's a different type of engagement. It's not so like pitch for money, pitch for money, pitch for money. So I think another thing is like I empower and encourage entrepreneur support organizations or business support organizations to think of other ways to offer focus group level opportunities to the community so that people can practice and just get it right and wrong. You know what I mean? Like, just figure it out. So I'll say that. And BGV is raising money. So donate to BGV, bit.ly/BGV links. You can find all the things there. We have a summit coming up. The Futures We Build Summit is going to be in DC, September the 9th through the 12th. September the 9th is just like a welcome day. So if you can't make it, I know that 4 days sounds like a lot. But September the 10th is really the full summit day, that where all the content is happening. September the 11th is going to be a wellness day. So I want y'all to come out and get well. But yeah, we gotta go. I am Omi Bell. This is my co-host Zakia Ross, and you have been watching the 30-Day Show, the BGV Edition. We'll be right back tomorrow, 6 a.m. PST, 9 a.m. EST. So make sure y'all be right back here with your questions, with your thoughts, because we're gonna get into more of this behind the scenes of business, selling business, keeping businesses, all that, employees, operations, all the things. All right. So y'all have a great rest of your day. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.